gentlemen, welcome to the Fred McNair Radio Show on this Monday night. Glad you can join us here on the Alcorn Football Radio Network. Charles Edmond here, Braves head football coach Fred McNair. Coach, good evening.
Good evening, Charles. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Let's talk a little bit about the game, and it came down to the final seconds, I tell you.
Well, it's always a tough one. It's like that, Charles, and you try to put your team in the position to win ball games, and just that final play there kind of got us, and we had opportunities to go ahead and make plays there at the end with the in the 2-minute offense and everything. So kind of miscued on a third down conversion there with a drop pass, and we had to punt back to them, get them the ball back, and they was able to go down the field and make a score on us for that last 3 seconds.
Give us a call, 601-877-6595, 601-877-6595. The Fred McNair Radio Show here on this Monday night. You can tweet a question, Tall Man Radio. You can text a question, 601-300-3124. 601-300-3124 was a game that came down to opportunity, so let's get right into the highlights. McNeese won the toss, deferred to the second half. So the Braves got the football at the start at their own 25-yard line. They were faced with a 3rd and 1 from their own 34. Turner lost a yard. And the theme of the night, Coach, 0 yards rushing. How tough was it to run on this team?
Going into the game, we had talked about it offensively and how tough it was going to be. McNeese State was only allowed 62 yards per game, before coming into the night. And, they did a lot of things up front that kind of gave us fits, and we tried to run the ball as well as we could, but a lot of movement with the front seven they had playing, and it just gave us a hard time there, and kind of making adjustments in the second half. We decided we were just going to really rely on our passing game, which was good for us the whole night. I think we threw the ball very well for them.
All right, so it was tough to run it, obviously, on the 3rd and 1 from their own 34. Turner lost a yard, so the Braves had to punt it away. McNeese 3 and out on their first drive. So the Braves' second drive of the game started at their own 33, and they were faced with a 3rd down and 11. Back to pass. Looks going to lob it from long down the field, and this ball's a diving catch. Orlando Mills laid out for it, caught it at the 26. So that was a heck of a catch there. We really tried to stretch this team. We had receivers wide open. The scouting report was true. They're tough against the run, but you can get big plays, and we had big plays.
And of course, and that good balls played by Lenoris, and great catch by Bills. That's like I say, one of the marquee players that we have, and he doing a great job for us at that receiving position and making plays for us there. So, we know we had to throw the ball on him, and that's what we was able to do. A couple of times we had some miscues on some open guys. I think one play we had Turner down the sideline, and we miscued on that one. Just give him a chance to catch the ball. That's all we asked for it to do. So we missed out on that play. But we did have opportunities to make big plays. That's what we did.
So Orlando Mills with the first big reception on this drive. The Braves had a 3rd and 9 from McNeese's 24. Fields a 22-yard reception to the Cowboys' 2-yard line, where it was 1st down and goal. Goodman rolling to his right, square out. It's caught, touchdown! Orlando Mills, his 3rd catch on this drive, and boy, it was all Orlando Mills. And that made it 7-0, Coach. You went right down the field, 10 plays, 67-yard drive.
I mean, that's the thing we're capable of, and you see, it kind of steams on the run. So, we try to run the ball on 1st, 2nd down. They kind of tough on that. So we didn't abandon the run right away, but we know we was able to throw the ball on them. So that's what we did with a pass from foot to Bills.
The next Cowboy drive started with 6:32 left in the first quarter, and they started at their 22-yard line, got to the Braves' 37. It was 4th down and 3 from the Braves' 37-yard line. They check down wide open, caught 30, 25, inside the 20, down to the 14-yard line. The big tight end, Lawrence Ross, just sat in that seam. And that was one of the themes of the game for us defensively. Ross made big catch after big catch in short yardage. Seems like, and we'll get into the highlights, obviously, a couple of touchdowns occurred just on that particular play in which he sat in the seam, turned, and got more yardage.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big kid. And then I think you said, we had a couple plays like that they scored on in the game, and we were just unable to get the safeties down to fit where we need to. But I think that they did a good job schematically, preparing. But we you just got to play better ball.
So with that, McNeese was able to move the football, and they were able to tie the football game at 7. Names on the pistol formation with Pratt behind him. Here's a fade. Separation. Caught for the touchdown. Parker Ogeron. So Parker Ogeron, who's related to Ed Ogeron, who's the head coach at LSU, with the catch to tie it up, and he made a couple of big catches.
Yeah, he did. I think their receiving corps was very good. We knew that on the defense side that they was going to catch the ball well. So they got some big time receivers over there. They got some height over there, Charles, and we battling, but at the end of the day, they made some throw up catches and made some big plays.
So it was a 7-7 game, Coach, at the end of the first quarter. Time of possession, 11.5 minutes to 3.5 minutes. We outgave McNeese 116-50.
Oh, yeah, and that's what you want to do each quarter. You want to win each quarter as much as you can. I mean, the score don't really say, but time of possession and the way you distribute the ball around, it kind of get timed off the clock. So we just try to win that battle as well.
All right, so we'll take a break here, 10 minutes after 6 o'clock. When we come back, the second quarter highlights. We'll get to it after this 1-minute timeout on the Alcorn Football Radio Network.
Areas. Join WPRL 91.7 FM and WPRL.org for the 2017 edition of the High School Coaches Show to air every Friday at 10 a.m. Hosted by Jay Miles, Gospel Music Director, with head coaches James Harrington of the Jefferson County Tigers and Harry Brown of the Port Gibson Blue Wave. The coaches will be talking about the X's and O's of the upcoming 2017 football season. Don't miss it.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair Radio Show here on this Monday night as we get into the second quarter highlights, Coach McNair. 7-7 game, back and forth we went, and just talk about the chess match through the first 15 minutes.
Well, like you said, it was a chess match. I guess, each offense, each defense trying to really fill each other out there, Charles. And, once we did that, I thought we did some things that would enable our offense to move the ball, and the defense did a great job of stopping their offense as well. I think those guys really played hard on the defense side of the ball, especially defensive front guys. They really poured into it, and you like a challenge like that when you're able to play hard and fight the way these guys fought all night. So right at the beginning, it was a good chess match, I thought.
All right, so as we get into the second quarter highlights, McNeese started at their 27-yard line, and they got to the Braves' 24-yard line with an opportunity to grab the lead. They had a second down and 17. Here's a check down catch, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Just sat down in the seam. Siren Sutton, the red shirt senior from Sulphur Springs, sat in the seam. Cedric Tillman turned on the Jets, scampered to the end zone, 24 yards. So that gave McNeese the lead, and that's the second play of that type that they ran.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great design play. Like I said, people design things to score, and that's what they did. And just like I said, we just got to get better and defend the passes a little bit better than we have.
All right, so it's 14-7 at that point. 14-7, our score. So when you look at what the Braves did on the next drive, they got to the 18-yard line where Darius Anderson with a big reception. And then as we move forward here, the Braves with an opportunity to make it a one-point game or tie it up. They had it second and 15 from their own 31-yard line. Puts it back to pass. Good pocket. Steps up. Going to allow this one long down the field. Wide open Warford. Caught. It's got to be a touchdown. Marquise Warford, 70 yards. He was wide open. All right, so that made it 14-13, and the PAT missed. So just talk about Warford wide open. We had 2 or 3 receivers open all night long, 2 or 3 big plays in which guys were wide open.
Yeah, and then I think I get those guys up front a great hand. They did a wonderful job protecting the Norris all night, just giving up one sack out of 47 dropbacks, and I thought they did an outstanding job protecting him up front. And like we said, we know we're going to have wide open receivers running down the field, and I thought the Norris did a great job of finding an open guy and getting the ball to him.
So it was 14-13 with 9:40 left. Of course, the PAT missed. The next McNeese drive started at their own 33-yard line. Tiberi was sacked, fumbled. Ogeron recovered. And that was a situation, Coach, 3 or 4 times they put the ball on the ground. We did get the pick, but we never could really get our hands on the football. They put it on the ground, just couldn't get our hands on it.
I tell you, just watching film, on those fumbles, and the thing, the ball bounced funny ways, and it didn't bounce our way not one time. We right there on the ball one time, and the ball just made a circle and went right to their guy hand. And just the way the ball bounced. I mean, we forced turnover. We just wasn't able to get them. Like I said, that ball bounced funny, and it didn't bounce our way not one time tonight.
So it was 14-13 at the half. McNeese with the lead. We outgained McNeese 230 to 164. 21 minutes time of possession is just 9 for McNeese. So the numbers, if you go inside the numbers, it would indicate the Braves should be leading this game, but it was a 1-point McNeese lead at the half. Give us your thoughts on what you told your team in the locker room.
The biggest thing is just finish and keep fighting. We knew we was playing a real tough team in McNeese State, and at the end of the day, it all boils down to focusing, finishing, and fighting. And I thought they did a good job the first half of just getting those guys just 14 points, and we did a great job of scoring 13 in the first half. But coming out the second half, we just had to finish the fight and stay focused on the things we're supposed to do, and try and win this ball game.
All right, so we'll get into the third quarter highlights when we come back. A bunch of tweets, texts have come in, and questions. Give us a call at 601-877-6595. We'll get an injury report. A number of Braves didn't play on Saturday. Will they be ready for the upcoming week? We'll talk about that with head coach Fred McNair. We'll get a little bit of clarity on what the leaping rule is. Harold Mitchell, the director of SWAC officials, will tell us about that coming up. So we'll take a 1-minute break. We'll get into the third quarter highlights of this exciting game that came down to the wire. Alcorn and the Cowboys. Third quarter highlights coming up in 1 minute on the Alcorn Football Radio Network.
Riverwalk is home to the area's first and only military rewards card. Our new Honor Card is our way of saying thank you to all of our active and retired military. Let's play at Riverwalk Casino Hotel. Must be 21 to gamble.
At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop texts, stopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
At WPRL 91.7 FM.
You are tuned in to WPRL 91.7 FM, broadcasting from the campus of Alcorn State University.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair Radio Show here on this Monday night. Glad you could join us. All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair Radio Show here on this Monday night. Glad you could join us. I'm Charles Edmond, head football coach Fred McNair. Let's get to the third quarter highlights, shall we? 20-13, McNeese at one point as they grabbed the lead as they went down the field. They had a 3rd and 6 from their own 30-yard line. And this was a game of big plays on both sides of the ledger. There's a big play right here. Back to pass, check down, catch to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown. Same play that they scored on the little check down and turning it up the field for the touchdown. All right, so that made it 20-13. That's what, the 3rd or 4th time, just a little check down. Just talk about that play. What is it and how we were trying to defend it?
Most of the time, Charles, when you're running pass plays and then you don't have anything open downfield, that's what you go to, your check down. So I thought the quarterback did a great job of finding the check down, and the receivers doing a great job of getting the ball in the end zone. A couple of times though, we thought we had made plays on it, but we didn't. But it's just the idea of quarterback doing his job. going through his progression and finding the check down. I thought that's what he did.
So it was 20-13 at that point. So the Braves, were on the edge. The Braves had opportunities in the second half. So as we fast forward the action here, 4.5 minutes left in this third quarter. The Braves at their own 26-yard line. They had a 3rd down and 6 from their own 30. Flipping back to pass, steps up. Gonna lob this one long for Anderson, and he's got it! Inside the 20 to the 15. So Radeers Anderson uses his height, uses his length, and it was a nicely thrown ball from Footman.
Yeah, like I said, good balls placed by Footman and great catch by Ray, and does a great job running his routes. He's a very good guy, good speed, and that's one thing that we thought we could do, get on top of those guys and run past them, and that's what we did. I mean, great play.
So it was 1st down and 10 from McNeese's 14-yard line, and it was 3rd down and goal. It was a trick play, Coach McNair sending Lenore's Footman as a slot receiver, and he was able to catch the touchdown to tie the game. Talk about that play.
That's something that we work on, in practice. So, it's not nothing that we just pulled out in the game. It's something we really work on, just like a normal play for us. And we have to call it out, and I think the executing of it was tremendous. They did a great job of executing the play, first time running it, and we did well on it, maybe get a score off of it.
So McNeese's next drive started at their own 26 with 2:25 left. They had a big play of 44 yards to get us to the end of the quarter, a 20-20 game. So again, just like FIU, solid team here in McNeese. We're right there on the edge of doing something pretty good.
Yeah, I always said, Charles, just finishing in the fight, and we stayed in there with them, and we played with them, and we hung in there. So the only thing we got to do now in the fourth quarter, just finish it and be successful, and that's the biggest thing we try to do. So got to the fourth quarter there, we thought I had a chance.
And we'll get to those fourth quarter highlights coming up. 601-877-6595. Give us a call, and we'll talk a little Braves football. Don't forget now, we're going to get a little clarification coming up as well. SWAC Director of Officials Harold Mitchell will join us. He'll give us this leaping rule. What does that mean and how that impacts things? It's a safety issue from what I've been told. He'll give us more clarity coming up. So we'll take a break here. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter highlights after this 1-minute timeout on the Alcorn Football Radio Network.
We had a bold new idea. Why pay for data you don't use? So we created Unlimited with cashback. On months you use lots of data, Unlimited has you covered. Use less data and get cashback on your bill. That's like going to a free baseball game, a free movie, or a free night of bowling. Get Unlimited with cashback only at C-Spire. Customer inspired.
Switch today and get 50% off our hottest smartphones with trade-in. Details at cspire.com.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time. The whole experience was fine. If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Visit beready.iowa.gov. Brought to you by Ready Iowa, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. 23 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock here on the Free of McNair radio show. If you missed some of this show, don't worry about it. We'll replay this on social media. I'll post the entire show online for those who have missed parts of this show. All right, so let's get to the fourth quarter highlights. McNeese had it, Coach, 1st and goal from the 5 of Alcorn. Pratt fumbled. McNeese recovered. We talked about 3 or 4 times they put the ball on the ground and just couldn't get there, and how close we were to that fumble.
They said that don't surprise me, Charles. We try to get them all night every time they fumble, but you just didn't come our way. Our guys' effort was there. You kind of see on all the fumbles that we was trying to get it, and I thought we had the one on the sideline, and evidently they came up with it, but we had opportunities there to get them, but it just didn't come our way, Charles.
All right, so didn't recover the fumble. McNeese to the Braves 2, where it was 2nd down and goal. Here's Pratt. Pratt straight ahead, touchdown. So of all the backs that we've seen, talk about Pratt. He had, I think, 119 yards rushing.
That's a small a little back in stature, but kind of a thick guy. He's a bowling ball, Charles, and we knew that coming to the game. We watched film on him, and they offensive line was pretty good as well. So they did a great job of running the ball, and we always, you can't stop him, but you got to just slow him down a little bit, Charles, and that's what we try to do with him. He's a big old boy, and he ran the ball hard.
All right, so McNeese with a 27-20 lead with 13 minutes left. The next Braves drive started at their own 30-yard line with 12:57 remaining. Back to pass. Flushed out to his left. Big Chase going to lob it down the field wide open. Caught the left, Turner to the 30. 20, 10, touchdown. So that tied the game at 27 yet again. Another game of big plays. DeLance Turner didn't have much success running the ball, but that time got behind the secondary.
Yeah, he did, and I think Footman did a great job of scrambling out to his left and finding him and just keeping his eyes downfield at the same time he scrambled. So DeLance was able to get behind those guys, and Footman did a great job of finding him and getting that score there.
So it's a 27-all game at that point. The offense back and forth. The defense. What about the Braves' defense at this point in the game? Right back at you, 27-all game. The Braves need a turnover. Yeah, that's right. The Braves need a turnover at that point. And how about this play, Fred McNair? James looks left all the way. And this ball is intercepted. And it's going to be returned here. This is the 20, 25. And that's the 30-yard line to 31. So, hey, I talked up a turnover 2 plays later. It happened.
Yeah, you're right. I thought he was going to score that. If he stayed to the sideline, to their sideline, he'd probably score that interception there. But, he came back across the middle with it, and we got tackled there, Charles.
So it was first down and 10 from our own 33-yard line. It was 3rd and 10. Footman Neville, 16 yards to our own 49-yard line. Then we got to McNeese's 40-yard line where it was 2nd down and 10. And Lenore's Footman's pass picked off by Callum Foster. So we got a turnover, and then we gave it right back.
Yeah, we just got to do a better job taking care of the ball. I thought the Footman, he knew that he left it inside too much, and he wanted to have that ball played on the outside. But I think we talked about it, Coach Shannon talked about it to the receivers. They kind of fight back through the defender to try to make that play anyway, at least get pass interference in on that one. But I think Footman just left it too far inside for us.
All right, so the Braves defense, though, Coach, held at that point in time. So now it's 4th down and long from our own 22-yard line, and McNeese on the punt. And the kick. Short kick. Warford gets away from it. Favorable. McNeese roll inside the 5th. Oh, Warford caught it on a hop. Warford to the 50. He's got a wall. There's a flag down. 30. Warford to the 25, to the 20, to the 10. Warford's going to score, but let's check the marker here. Looks like it's coming back. A marker at the 46.
Yeah, it's coming back, Charles. That was coming back from where he threw the flag at. That's coming back. Good run on it, all for nothing. Yeah.
Flag down at the 46.
Well, I think they're trying to say it's 2 flags.
Illegal flag in the back. Number 8, unsportsmanlike. Leaving.
All right, so we're going to hold off on that one because we're going to get Harold Mitchell's thoughts on that. Leaping was the call, and he'll talk to us about that. But that was a huge play because that took the touchdown off the board and gave McNeese a new set of downs.
It did, Charles, and that's one thing that I've never seen that call made this year. Even on TV, I see a whole lot of stuff going on TV, Charles. I've never seen that call made. I've seen a whole lot of punts in different leagues, and I've never seen that call made. And at a crucial time of the game, I didn't feel like I felt that he jumped up and the guy hit him and pushed him over. That's the way I saw it. Just looking at the film, but they made the call at a crucial time of the game, and of course we had a block in the back on the return. But it's a call made, and just don't know, Charles.
Yeah, and Harold Mitchell will kind of clarify it for us. So McNeese had a new set of downs there. With that, they didn't take advantage of it. So the Braves, with the football, 2:11 left in the game. There was a Turner, a big run. There was a 35-yard punt. The Braves couldn't do much with that. and McNeese had it at their own 38 with 1:27 left in the fourth quarter, and they got to the Braves 33.
James back to pass. Looks going to allow this one long down the field, and this ball is caught. Touchdown, McNeese. Coming up with it is Kent Shelby on the jump ball. Now the play is under further review here.
And after a review was inconclusive, and the touchdown call on the field was a touchdown, there had to be indisputable evidence to overturn that call. Touchdown, McNeese, and they have the lead.
Yeah, they do, Charles. I think that, Morrison, he mistimed his jump on that one, and just looking at it, and that's what he did. And if he timed his jump, he'd probably get a chance to knock that ball down, Charles. But just to understand that we just can't let those guys get behind us at the same time.
So it's 34-27, 18 seconds left after a 14-yard return by Warford. Braves had it at their own 21. Footman Neville for 19 yards to McNeese's 45. There were just 2 seconds left. One final chance for Alcorn.
Footman back to pass. Here comes pressure. Footman's got to make something happen, and he throws it away, and that'll do it. Footman was being chased, and he had to just do something with it. And time will expire.
So the Braves lose a tough one by the final score of 34-27. We'll take a break here. We'll get into the game. Have a lot of questions and comments. We'll talk about it coming up. The final numbers, the SWAC report. We'll hear from Harold Mitchell, of course, on that leaping call, and we'll talk about Southern University. We'll hear from Dawson Odom. So we'll get to all that coming up on the other side of this 1-minute break on the Alcorn Football Radio Network.
It's game day. You've got things to do, tents to set up, games to stream.
Good morning, football fans.
That's why C Spire invested in more towers for more power. More towers give you more streaming, more sharing, more cheering. You know what football means to you, so our network has you covered. At C Spire, we work for fans. C Spire, customer inspired.
Get unlimited with cashback. Now 4 lines for just $40 each. Details at cspire.com.
Ranger Station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again. Felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now.
There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair Radio Show here on this Monday night. Glad you could join us here on WPRL and WPRL.org. Of course, we're going to start with the call. And even though it was huge in the fact that it took a touchdown off the board, but let's hear from SWAC Director of Officials, Harold Mitchell. Got a chance to talk with him over the last couple of days to get his thoughts on that particular call, what the rule is, because a lot of people don't know, including yours truly. So here's Harold Mitchell talking about that particular call.
Mitchell, we appreciate you coming on with us.
Thanks, Charles.
Head scratcher of a call the other night. Talk about that particular call and what it involves.
Under no circumstances can a player attempt to jump over other players, even their own players. And it's a safety issue. In other words, particularly on kick plays, punts, and field goals or point after touchdowns. You cannot have a player take a running start and try to leap over what would be a potential blocker in order to attempt to block a kick. You've noticed last year in a game, I believe it was Auburn, where one of the student athletes was able to physically jump entirely over the line of scrimmage and block a field goal attempt. Now, he did not touch anyone, but had someone risen up to block him, knocks him off balance, he could have came down on his head or neck and had some serious injuries. So as a safety issue, the NCAA, in their rules, has indicated that under no circumstances can you try to jump over a person in order to complete some type of football action. And the play that you were referencing had to do with what we call the protectors of the punter, the people that are lined up in front of the punter that are blocking the defensive team from coming in to block the punt. The defensive player can run through a gap, he can leap through a gap, or he can block a person and try to get to the punter, but he cannot physically attempt to jump over. If he jumps over, it's an automatic 15-yard penalty whether he makes contact or not.
All right, so that's Harold Mitchell giving us clarity. Coach McNair, were you able to get some further clarity between Saturday and today in terms of that particular call?
So, you know, Charles, right now, it is what it is, Charles, and you know, we can do nothing about it. But I thought that my player jumped, but he didn't try to leap over them. And by him jumping, I thought they made contact with him and try to block him from what I've seen on my film. So, and I did send it in to Harold, and he sent it back to me, and he told me that it was a leap, and we can't do it. So.
All right, well, there's a little clarity there for those who might accept that or not. That's Harold Mitchell giving us the definition of it. All right, so let's look at the game, Coach. 34-27. We just couldn't run the football. We talked about that. The Norris Footman 400 yards passing, SWAC Offensive Player of the Week. Our secondary was, just talk about that aspect of it because they had big plays throwing the football, and our secondary, talk about how they performed.
Well, they performed good. I mean, we knew we playing a real tough team coming in, and that's the thing that we look at as a coaching staff, the caliber kind of team we're playing. We knew they was going to be tough against the run. We knew they was going to throw the ball to those long, lanky receivers out there. You know, just the thing that we just got to get in position to make those plays. And from the positive side, I thought our defensive front did an outstanding job of getting 2 sacks against that great offensive line they had, and vice versa. I thought that our offensive line did a great job of protecting the Norris, and they him and throw the ball as many times as they did. And it's some good and bad, and we just got to continue to grind and continue to play hard as we've been playing. And of course, like I told them in the meeting tonight, we got to focus, we got to finish, and we got to keep fighting. And I think that's embedded in them, and they've been doing pretty good, Charles. My hats off to that defensive line and offensive line where they played, and of course the receivers and DBs. I mean, we got lucky receivers, and we take advantage of those short corners too. So we use that to our advantage, and I think that other teams do that as well. And our guys gonna play hard. They're gonna continue to fight back there in that secondary. That's one thing Coach Thomas won't allow them to do, to give up. So we're gonna continue to press the issue and make sure those guys getting everything that they need to be successful.
All right, let's get to some of the tweets, and then I think Emmanuel Barnes is on the line. We'll get to him coming up, but let's get to some of the tweets, a bunch of them. I am 3 tweets, great job with the vertical passing game. Is there anything to be concerned about up front with the run game?
No, that's no concern. Like we said, we knew they was going to be tough to run against, and it's a good thing that we can throw the ball, and last week it was a problem that we had as far as we couldn't throw the ball, but we ran the ball well. But it's a 6 in one hand, a half a dozen in the other one, Charles. So we try to do everything that we can as a coaching staff to put these guys in the best position to win ball games, whether we run or whether we pass, or whether we play good pass defense or play good run defense. We are coaching these guys to be successful on the field as well as in the classroom.
All right, another tweet. Congrats, Coach, on a hard-fought game. You talk about the penalties during the course of the game, and every coach in America gets asked about penalties, and it's kind of the basic answer. Well, we'll just work to clean them up. What do you say? What do you do? Is there anything you could say to clean up the penalties?
You just got to continue to coach these players the way you've been coaching them, because one thing, you don't want to take the aggression away from them. It's easy to try to figure out why they're not being aggressive, but when they're aggressive enough to continue to play hard in the way they've been playing, you can't really take that away. You just got to, just like I said, just focus is the biggest thing, and we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to press the issue. There were some calls there that were called against us, and there were some calls that wasn't called for us. So you look at that and you kind of weigh that out, because I did send some of those calls in that wasn't called, that was in our favor, and they didn't call them. So we had a guy to get blocked in the back, referee standing there and didn't get called. We had a Norris Footman on a late hit, didn't get called. So their quarterback got hit, supposedly been a late hit, but they called it. So just looking at those things and the way the game is officiated, we just got to continue to press our guys just to stay focused and continue to do anything that they're doing.
All right, let's get back to the phone lines. I think Emmanuel Barnes is still holding. We appreciate you holding on. Good evening, Emmanuel Barnes.
Hey, Charles, it's late. My question I wanted before the interview, because I thought it was live, but I what we did saw good. I've been doing what I guess up 47, and I don't remember us on opponents with me. And I understand the rules. I want to understand how they decided to call it at that time, but I didn't see anything different that I had seen in either team during that whole ball game. It looked like it was all the same thing, and maybe they can distinguish the difference. But I didn't see anything that we did different or that they had done differently for what we saw on that play. But yet they decided to call it at that moment, and that's what I was saying. About it, they're right. But I want to know how and when they decide that's what it is.
All right, Emmanuel Barnes, we appreciate it. Coach, when you send those plays in like that, how quickly do you get a response?
I got to respond right away, and you know, I sent that in this morning, and he responded back to me right after lunch, and that's when I got after lunch, but I checked my email right after lunch, and so, you know, and I look at them and I read them, and I kind of try to figure out how they determined that was a leak when the guy jumped. You know, I could see him if he propelling himself going over in a parallel position as he go, but he was jumping up and the guy hit him. But the call was made, and like I said, you know, Dean Bourne's right. It was a crucial time in the game. You make that call. You know, I think their coach will run down the sideline complaining about it, but you know, we complain about stuff too, but it don't get called, and you know, that's the fix of it, and especially when we're at home. We don't ask for calls, but it's calls that should be made we don't get. That's the thing that bothers me, and that's the thing that's scary to my coaching staff when they can't argue a call that's been made. But you know, we understand the process, we understand what we got to do, and we're gonna get this team better, and we're gonna press on and keep doing the things we're doing coaching this football team.
All right, Emmanuel Barnes, we appreciate your calling in. Give us a call, 601-877-6595. As we go back to the Twitter feed, Barry Jones tweets, Coach, now that we're in the SWAC play, which begins on Saturday, will any of the younger running backs like Foreman get any playing time, or will they redshirt?
Well, right now we're trying to do our best to do what's right by these young men, and some of it's not ready to play, Charles, and you got to understand that from a coaching standpoint, to where, you know, if he's not ready, you don't want to put him in and burn a redshirt year when that kid can learn this year and have 4 years left to play. That's the thing that we have to be careful about all our freshmen, the way we play them, if they play at all. Just a concern about them developing more and maturing more as a redshirted freshman than just coming in a true freshman playing. So we're trying to work everything out. If we can avoid playing them, we will. But if it came down to it, we have to. We'll do it. But those are the situations that we're in.
Coach, what do you think? Lenars Footman, 400 yards passing, SWAC Offensive Player of the Week. I mean, we were able to stretch the field. We were able to get a lot of good stuff throwing the football. Warford, DeLance Turner, Rodarius Anderson. Footman had a heck of a day throwing the football despite 0 yards rushing.
You know, the biggest thing is about that, you know, we know Lenars have a real live arm, and they can do those things. And just to show you the things that we did in the course of the game is the thing you're probably going to see, you know, the course of the rest of the SWAC run here, Charles. Going to have a good team against Southern coming in. Now that they see that we can go vertical in the passing game, that, you know, they'll loosen up in that box a little bit, and we'll be able to establish a run, which we did last year. We thought we did pretty good against them last year as far as running the ball and as well as passing.
Well, as you put the final capper of the numbers, the Braves 66 plays, 419 yards of total offense, 0 yards rushing, 419 through the air. The penalties, Coach, we were the second most penalized team in the conference in terms of number of penalties going in to this game. We had 11 penalties for 92 yards. Of course, we've been talking about that for the first 3 weeks of the season.
You know, like I said, some of those penalties iffy, Charles, and you know, some of those penalties you get, some of them you don't. So, you know, it's just unfortunate we get all those penalties that we as a staff don't think they're penalties. And but you know, like I said, we can't take the aggression away from these young men the way they play football. You're gonna have penalties in football games. I've never seen a football team that play a football game that have 0 penalties for 0 yards. So it's a game of football. You're gonna have flags. Like I said once before, they could throw a flag on every play. You know, it's whether it's for you or whether it's against you. So we just got to keep pressing the way we're playing and continue to keep fighting.
Orlando Veal, 6 receptions for 112 yards. McCullough, had a field goal blocked and missed a PAT. First couple of games, he made a 45 and 49 yarder. Talk about the kicking issues, if any, on Saturday.
Now I'm not too much worried about Corey kicking issues of Charles, and Corey gonna kick the ball, and he had one that I think the placement was kind of not in his favor for him to kick, and the one field goal, the extra point he missed, he knew that was his fault, just trying to raise up too quick on it. But he's been solid for us, and we just gonna continue to get him work and much work we can, because we will need him. He's been doing a solid job for us, and other than that game there, missing an extra point in that field goal, which I thought it was just kind of low when he kicked it. That's because of the ball placement. But we just going to continue to press the issue and get better.
Defensively, Quanzi Jackson leading the way with 7 tackles and a sack. We had 2 sacks in the game. Of course, Morrison, Farrell, and Ely, 2, 3, and 4 in the tackle columns with 6 apiece. 5 players had 6 tackles apiece. Quanzi Jackson led the way with 7. Talk about him.
Quanzi is a good player. Coach Stewart does a great job with that young man, and keeping him on the field and making him doing the right things. And once he out there, get the feel of the flow. He gonna work hard when on the field now. So he gonna rush the pass like he got the sack and continue. And then one personal foul on the quarterback. I thought it was a bang play when they called it. So, but they called it. But Quanzi, it didn't bother him. He just kept playing and with those 7 tackles and 1 sack.
All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll get to some more questions and tweets. Give us a call 45 minutes after 6 o'clock. We appreciate Emmanuel Barnes calling in. We appreciate all the tweets. I really appreciate it. It really helps the flow of the show. The text feature is working as well. We'll get to some of those. We'll also talk Southern. We'll hear from Dawson Odoms. We'll get his thoughts on the Braves, and we'll get Fred McNair. We'll get his thoughts on the Jaguars as conference play starts in earnest coming up this week. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back in 1 minute on the Fred McNair Radio Show.
The Oklahoma State University School of Agriculture, Research, Extension, and Applied Sciences is a premier land-grant program that promotes excellence in the areas of teaching, research, and outreach activities delivered by cutting-edge technology to its students and the communities it serves. Through vibrant teaching, research, and outreach activities, the School of Aries empowers students and citizens educationally and socio-economically to enrich the quality of life for themselves and their communities. For more information on our schools and our services, visit us online at www.allcorn.edu/area.
Join WPRL 91.7 FM, WPRL.org for the 2017 edition of the High School Coaches Show to air every Friday at 10 a.m. Hosted by Jay Miles, Gospel Music Director, with head coaches James Harrison of the Jefferson County Tigers and Harry Brown of the Port Gibson Blue Waves. The coaches will be talking about the X's and O's of the upcoming 2017 football season. Don't miss it.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair Radio Show. One of the most asked questions via text or tweet: injuries. Mike Brooks didn't dress, Daniel Franklin, Tip McKenzie. So give us an update on some of those individuals, starting with Mike Brooks, who did not dress out on Saturday.
I think Mike Brooks, he's gonna be fine. We just continue to do what we're doing as far as treatment. I think that they're doing a great job in that training room, getting our guys back on the field, and hopefully we'll know something on tomorrow about those guys that's not dressed, that didn't dress this weekend. But they do a great job in the training room of getting us back on the field as soon as we can. So we just continue to press those, get those guys what they need as far as treatment-wise.
All right, what about Daniel Franklin?
Well, they're in the same way. All those guys that's injured didn't play. They pretty much in the same boat, just getting a little nursing and making sure they're doing what they have to do to get themselves healthy and getting back on the field. So that's one of the things that we're working towards, and just making sure they get the proper training and treatment that they need.
Benny Chestang tweets about Matt Davis. Is he out for the year?
Yeah, Matt been out ever since camp started. Matt got hurt during the spring and with his ACL, and he hasn't done anything, but he's working hard to get back. So he's doing a lot of physical therapies and stuff to get back. But unfortunately, he probably won't be back this year. So we'll miss him. I think he was a great addition to our team when we signed him. So unfortunately, he got hurt during the spring and wasn't able to come back.
And Tip McKenzie. Everybody's waiting for Tip McKenzie. What's his status?
Well, right now we're still working on Tip. And it's still work in progress with him. So we just continue to flow with him and see how that's going to turn out.
All right, Music Boy tweets, Coach, have you ever thought about giving LaShawn Ely some playing time at corner, let Brady and OJ play safety?
Well, I'm not the defensive coordinator. That's Coach Thomas, and I think Coach Thomas does a great job of doing the things that he do. I think those guys do a great job in the position that they're playing. I have seen him work at some corner in practice, but I think in the comfort zone that he in at that safety spot, that's probably where I'd be. But that's totally up to Coach Thomas. If he see fit to do him, put him over there, that's what we'll do. But right now, I think the safety spot is a good spot for him, and we just have to see. That's on Coach Thomas.
Yeah, I understand that. Got a tweet from Mr. T talking about that leaping call. He tweets that Mississippi State had that same call on them against LSU this past Saturday. So good comment there. And Big Homie tweets, just tuning into the show. Can't wait to be on campus this weekend to see the Braves. Good job, Coach. We could easily be 3-0 right now, and I think that's a safe fact that a play here, play there, we could be sitting prettier right now.
And I told the guys today in the meeting, Charles. I mean, just looking back, just take care of the small things that really gonna matter when it comes down to the stretch and the swag play. If we take care of those things and do the things right that we need to do, if we'd have done that in the last 2 ball games, I think we come out with wins. And they understand that. They understand that those little small things could really hurt when you don't finish it. That's the biggest thing. We just got to finish the fight every game and every Saturday, Charles.
All right, we're going to take a break here. But this from Merit Health. Merit Health Natchez is proud to be the official sports medicine provider for athletics at Alcorn State University. Our certified athletic trainers help prevent, diagnose, and treat injuries related to participation in sports. On behalf of Merit Health Natchez, we wish the Alcorn Braves a successful, healthy, and injury-free season. We would like to give special recognition to the parents, coaches, teachers, students, fans, faculty, and of course the players for making Alcorn football so special. Go Braves! We'll take a time out here, SWAC report, and a Southern preview coming your way. 51 minutes after the hour. Keep the tweets coming, and we have time for a call or two. 601-877-6595. Back after this on the Fred McNair Radio Show.
If you haven't heard, Riverwalk's all-new Players Club is here. We believe you deserve the best casino loyalty program, so we're proud to introduce the all-new Riverwalk Rewards. Our players get more, with exciting new benefits, more tiers, and more rewards than ever before. And now, Riverwalk is home to the area's first and only military rewards card. Our new Honor Card is our way of saying thank you to all of our active and retired military. Let's play at Riverwalk Casino Hotel. Must be 21 to gamble.
At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop texts, stoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
All right, let's get to this one. All right, let's get to this. Well, eager to jump in there. 52 minutes after the hour. Let's give you the SWAC scores from this past Saturday. Grambling 36, Jackson State 21. It was UT San Antonio 51, Southern 17, Nicholls State 44, Prairie View 13, and Arkansas State over UAPB 48-3. South Alabama over Alabama A&M 45-0, and Kennesaw State beat Alabama State 20-14. Before we get into the Southern preview, Coach, I was on the SWAC football teleconference this morning, and every coach, I don't know how you feel about it, but every coach breathing a sigh of relief that, for the most part, the non-conference tilts are over. The unfortunate losses of these games and players are over. Now it's SWAC time, and every coach that I heard on the teleconference is looking forward to getting into the grind of the SWAC schedule.
It's no better than what Dean Boynes always said at the basketball game. It's SWAC time, baby. So that's the biggest thing. You get over those games like that, and you kind of feel what kind of players you got and what kind of fight they got in them by playing those non-conference games, Charles. So you feel good about yourself, and I think that this team has really grown up a little bit in the way they feel about themselves after these last 2 weeks, other than not winning, but just the way they played, and I think the effort they've been given on both sides of the ball and on special team today, that we feel very comfortable of going into SWAC play on Saturday.
All right, so let's get into, we'll skip the break, and we'll get into Southern right now. The Jaguars beat South Carolina State, held on actually, We're very fortunate to beat South Carolina State, but obviously a couple of tough losses when you look at what they have dealt with so far this season. They lost to USM, they lost to Texas San Antonio, and they lost their quarterback as well. And he has not played the last couple of weeks, and from what Dawson Odom said this morning, there's a good chance he might not play this week either. We don't know. It's Monday. We'll find out come Saturday. But here's Dawson Odom talking about his ball club as he has the SWAC opener against the Braves here at Spinks Castle on Saturday.
I mean, we couldn't get a first down. You know, they defense was in our backfield, and you know, we didn't really have time to throw the football. You know, they were very good in their front seven, and you know, it really was challenging for us. And then we didn't stop them on defense. You know, I thought we had a better chance of stopping, but you know, they got in our formation, and you know, they fed the big back, and they got downhill, and we just didn't play very well. We were outmanned and outmatched, and you know, I got to do a better job of getting this football team to play better, and we'll get better. We get back in the conference play. You know, this week's our first conference game. This game we didn't get beat up. You know, the Southern Miss game we got beat up pretty bad. We came out of this game pretty healthy, and that's fortunate because we got a lot of guys banged up right now. But I really think they're going to play much better because the game's going to slow down a lot than what we've seen the last 3 weeks.
When you look at the Braves, what do you see, offense, defense? Just give us your thoughts on what you see from ASU.
They're very active. You know, they go press you. They get out there. And, you know, what we put on film, I don't see why they would change that. And, you know, the good thing is that offensively, I mean, they got some weapons. And it starts with Footman. I mean, he's one of the better quarterbacks in this conference, and he makes it go. I think he had over 417 yards passing last week against McNair. So, you know, they got weapons. They can spread the field. They can score points. You know, and we're going to have to play better on defense to give ourselves a chance.
All right, that's Dawson Odom talking about Alcorn. Fred McNair, let's talk about Southern. We know this is a big rivalry. You don't have to worry about coaching up anybody. This is the first SWAC game. It's Alcorn and Southern. We know the passion of the rivalry. Should be a pretty good game. Austin Howard might play, might not. Dawson Odom, just the way he sounded, that he's prepared for him not to play. They've got a freshman quarterback in Glendon McDowell who played against Texas San Antonio, as well as Darquez Lee. So a freshman and a sophomore, we could see a couple of quarterbacks. But what do you expect from Southern coming up?
Well, the biggest thing is you look at them, Charles, and if they don't have Austin Howard at that helm, you know, we were prepared for Austin. I guarantee you that. But just looking at it now and just understanding with those two quarterbacks that haven't played a whole lot, you kind of see them trying to run the ball a little bit more than they've been running. With a lot of stuff they do run the football. But on the defensive side of the ball, you know, you still got 4 all-conference players, you know, and Aaron Tiller, he's an all-SWAC player, and then you got a defensive back, Danny Johnson. So those guys are very physical on the defensive side. So hopefully by them seeing what we can do in the passing game, kind of loosen them up in the front seven and kind of give us some creases in there. But we're going to do what we do as a staff and make sure we put these kids in the best position to win ball games.
You know, this is a game of passion, energy, and emotion. And you talked about that. You know, in these SWAC games, I think the anticipation of getting into the SWAC schedule, I think is paramount as well. I think every coach is ready to get in the SWAC play. And this is we're used to playing Southern in October, late October in the past, but with the changing in the schedule, we're playing them now. Here it is in September, the 3rd week. So this is a very big statement game for both teams.
It is, and I think both teams will be very eager to play each other, Charles. And that's the biggest thing when you have such rivalry at this end. The magnitude of this game on campus here at Alcorn is very big, you know. And Southern, they'll have fans coming here on Thursday, maybe Wednesday.
How about tonight?
It may be some tonight, Charles. And, you know, you look at our RV park, and you still have campus that were left on this past weekend. So anticipating a big crowd and a big game, like you said, Charles. The magnitude of this game is going to be none like any other, you know, with Southern coming in town and just getting these guys ready to play.
It's the 25th anniversary of the opening of Jack Spinks Marino Castle Stadium, so that ought to make Saturday's game even special. Your brother, the late Steve McNair, had great moments against Southern on that field in that stadium.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, Charles. You know, just the idea of, you know, the anniversary of being in Jack Spinks Stadium is always good. You know, when you talk about legends and you talk about Jack Spinks and Marino Castle and you know, Steve McNair and all those guys that put time in here at Alcorn, you know, it's always special to be able to bring something back to the table when you talk about the Jaguars and the Braves playing football games.
We'll be on there at 5:30 with the Alcorn pregame show kickoff. At 6 o'clock, the game will be shown on the SWAC digital network. Go to SWAC.org on Saturday. There'll be a link. You can watch the game live online. Coach, we appreciate it. Let's get back in the win column.
All right, thank you, Charles.
That's Braves head football coach Fred McNair. We'll talk to you Saturday night. Get here early. It's Alcorn and Southern. You can catch it on the Alcorn Football Radio Network. I'm Charles Edmond with the coach. So long.
Get here early, Charles.